Now, I know in your university there are two key words that you have. One is distance, right? Okay, the separation. And the other is open, right? Key word. So you're an open distance education university. Now, I want you to think about one more word, another O word. So now I want you to add the word online. Online. So now you're an open, online, distance education university. That's going to make you very unique. You already are unique in the mission that you do, and that you're one of the few institutions in the world that really, truly, as an institution, you're able to provide accessible and affordable, really affordable education. Your rector told me about your tuition costs, so I was amazed, amazed. Very cheap. $3, three US dollars a credit, $9 a course, $45 for a semester.
Times 100,000.
Yeah, I mean you can't even buy a textbook for that in the United States. So what you're doing is just very, very important. And today we're going to take a look at some tools and some thoughts that you might have about maybe changing the paradigm a little bit. What would it be like, if you can imagine, if all your students were online? That all their materials were perhaps delivered electronically. I know you do that now. But all their interactions and correspondence how many of you have a phone? A phone with you? A phone? Yeah, you have it. Let me see. Yeah, you got this? You all have one? Hmm? What do you do with it? Besides make telephone calls?
Play games.
Play games?
No.
What do you do with it? Hmm?
Email.
Email, you communicate, download materials, okay, browsing, okay, you ask a question to it, right? You want to know something, you have a what? Shopping? Chatting, oh, chatting, yeah. Okay, this is the future. Okay, we're no longer really talking about e-learning anymore. Now we're talking about M-learning, mobile learning. Carry it with you in your pocket. Can you imagine that? That everything you do now, whose phone did I take? On yours? Yeah, okay. Everything you do now can be done out of your pocket. We're learning how to better code to make it fit. This is the future. Your students are already doing this. Everything they need to know, if they knew where to look, is probably you provide the guidance. This is the future, which is here now. And we're moving forward into new ways of connecting and new ways of thinking about how we can provide instruction that's more accessible, more affordable, to reach more learners, using the tools that they are familiar with. and we're continuing to build and see new tools. This is what we're going to talk about today. How to rethink your role as an instructor. Because I'll say this now, and we can talk about it more, but we're changing from being the source of knowledge to helping individuals better understand how to apply and find that knowledge. Because it's there. We have a new theory called Connectivism. If you're interested in online learning, you may want to take a look at this theory called Connectivism. C-O-N-N-E-C-T-I-V-I-S-M. Not constructivism. We were talking about that today. This is a theory that says knowledge doesn't reside anymore within us as much as it resides in the network, in all of us. That it's no longer necessary for us to be the sole repository. You know, as professors, we think we're professors because we know everything, or should know everything, or know a lot of things. But we don't need to know that anymore. We need to know how to evaluate information, how to be critical about that information, to find information, and most importantly, how we create new ideas. This is what online is about. It's not so much about acquiring information as it is in creating and using resources to think of new ways to come together and build. That's a different role. How do we then make that happen? How do we begin to create spaces out there on the internet for this to occur? This is what the role of faculty becomes. We still have to have content, but the content is out there among all of us. And I've seen students, when they work collaboratively, online, in online spaces, produce ideas that I could never have come up with, and that a single student could never have come up with. And they do wonderful, wonderful work. It's just fascinating to watch. Much better than doing what we're doing now, which is sitting here listening to me, and you maybe taking notes or doing something else. But this is what's happening. And institutions that persist or stay in not you reaching out, but in the you come to me mode, and you've gone beyond that mode a long time ago. Even in my institution, it's still, if you want to have a degree, you have to come to me. You have to sit in my chair. No longer the case. And students are not going to want to do that. In some cases, and you know, most students in Indonesia can't do that. So I hear this term. I go to different Indonesian universities, and everywhere I go, I hear, we're doing e-learning now. Okay, so help me understand. When they tell me they're doing e-learning now, or you're doing e-learning now, what is it you're doing? What does e-learning look like in your institution or other institutions?
What they do is they put the materials, the course materials on the web, and all the interactions is conducted online. But I think they still, I mean the face-to-face university, they still do the exams, yeah, sit-in exam, yeah.
Okay. If that was being done, I would say that's really good. But here's what I see more often in the face-to-face universities that say they're doing e-learning. They are putting materials on the web. That's it. Some put materials on the web and have the students submit an assignment on the web, singularly. Here's the assignment, you send it back. Instead of turning in your paper, they post it on the web. Okay, that's a little better. And some of the better ones, they say, okay, once you put that on the web, I will send you back a comment, maybe. And then it stops. Okay? That's not e-learning. Okay? That's using the technology as a cabinet to put things. Okay? When we talk about e-learning, We're talking about a highly interactive environment in which students are working together. We go from one to many and many to many. And together, you as faculty, students individually and together, come up and solve a problem. They create a product. They demonstrate how they apply what they're reading. And they do it over maybe a period of time. It could be a week, 2 weeks, but they're actively involved. They're sharing, they're connecting, and they're creating. That's what e-learning really is about. And when we move to M-learning, it just means I don't have to sit at the machine anymore. I can carry it with me. I can do it from the beach. I can do it wherever I can get a Wi-Fi signal, or, you know, with your phones, you carry your own Wi-Fi. You can make a hotspot. All these things are possible. So no longer do we have to be tethered to time or place. Some tell me they do e-learning, and they do it what we call synchronously, meaning, okay, I'm going to have my lecture, but you all have to be somewhere at 5 o'clock. The internet says, well, you can do that, but a lot of us can't be there at 5 o'clock. So maybe I can record it and watch it later and respond later. So we begin to think about any time, okay, any space, any place, anywhere. And yet we can still be together and function like a class. This is what's so exciting. This is what's so exciting to me about e-learning. This is what the kind of future, the kind of things I work to make happen in our institutions and work with others who want to try that too. So let's see. So, if you would take a minute or two and just at your tables, no more than 2 or 3 minutes, kind of just answer the first 2 questions. So, what questions do you bring? So, you came for some reasons. I would like to know those reasons, assuming that you weren't required to come. Okay. So I can better address the questions and concerns you have. And then 2, and we'll do some assessments, are you really ready to go to online learning in the way that I described? That's highly interactive, where you have maybe 20, 30 students in a class working together in different locations at different times, working on their assignments, but coming together to produce very interesting things. And do you have the skills, the knowledge of the technology, and the tools to be able to do that? So just take 2 or 3 minutes at your table, find out who's there, and then come up as a table with maybe 1 or 2 questions that, as a group, you think are important. And we'll see if I can address some of those. Okay?